Welcome to the Inspiring Tech Leaders podcast with me, Dave Roberts. Today, I have the pleasure to be talking with Lee Murray, a serial tech entrepreneur and CEO of multiple businesses focused on end-user computing. Lee is the vice chair for a central government council that brings together leaders from across the tech industry and also operates as part of the Tech UK Defence and Security Board, which focuses on addressing the strategic IT concerns that impact the defence and security sector. It's fantastic to have you here today, Lee.
Thanks, Dave. It's great to be here. As you know, I've been listening to the Inspiring Tech Leaders podcast for a number of years now.
Excellent. So, Lee, we've known each other for quite some time now, and it's been amazing to see the journey that you've been on and the success that you've been having in end-user computing, especially given the partnership that you've established with Microsoft. So you've developed these tools that can enable organizations to manage their estates more effectively and efficiently for less cost. But can you tell me why you focused on end-user computing?
Absolutely, Dave. As you know, I've been in end-user compute now for the best part of 10 years in my various businesses. But when we formed ClearVisibility, it was back in 2022. And that's when the end-user compute market was estimated to be worth about $10.3 billion. Today, it's well in excess of that. It's about $11.97 billion. And over the next 5 years, it's expected to grow to 19.32. And my software, ClearVisibility, can save over 10% of their annual spend on end-user compute. So it's the perfect market for us.
Well, that's fantastic. But why is it more complex than most people think?
Well, it's such a complex market. The reason for this is the number of components involved in a typical user estate. What we find is if you've got 10,000 users, you've got between, let's say 300 to 500 named applications like your usual Microsofts, your Adobes, etc. But there's around 1 million individual instances of software installs with different versions, dependencies, drivers, making it complex and far more complicated than first meets the eye. Now, the way most organizations believe they know the devices and software is they check and compare data from things like SCCM, Intune, and AD, ServiceNow, and many others, but they won't show their major discrepancies. Not understanding exactly what's on the network represents risk, non-compliance, over or under licensing, software audit risk, increased service desk tickets, and most importantly, it's a major security risk. Now, the best practice would be to rationalize and consolidate the estate to reduce this complexity, but that's easier said than done. Often organizations only do this before a migration to a new platform, but best practice is to do this every day. And I'm very pleased to say that there are tools available which allows this to be automated and performed every single day.
So can you tell me, how do customers typically approach reducing the complexity and the rationalization of their end-user computing estate?
The way it's typically done, from what we see, is IT staff do a manual audit using usually already overstretched IT staff and a spreadsheet, or they contact a service provider to do a SAM audit. The problem with this approach is it provides a one-off snapshot, which becomes out of date the moment that you do it. A SAM audit may tell you that you have, for example, 400 licenses of, let's say, Adobe Acrobat Pro on a particular day. More useful would be to know is, are these 400 licenses actually being used? If only 150 are being used, it would make more sense to rationalize this and swap out the other 250 users to a much cheaper or free version. And that can generate in its own a saving of over £207,000 over a 3-year period. Actioning change requires communication, though, with the stakeholders, application owners, end users, and this can only be best achieved by automation and tooling to communicate to the stakeholders. And you've also got to get their agreement to change and then affect the change to realize the savings. No point on just showing people more data. And obviously, it's not just software. We had a customer who believed that they had 12,000 devices on their network. By scanning the estate and pulling information from things like SCCM, AD, ServiceNow, HP warranty information into a single view, we were able to show that over 2,500 of these devices were not in use. They were lost, left in cupboards, some stolen, and not been logged in for more than 30 days. This is a big security risk for all the devices, as they may not be patched to the latest version. It's also a massive waste of expense and resource, not to mention the unused licenses. Now, most of these licenses can actually be reused. So we set up a project to communicate with all the last known users, asked them to log back into the network, return the device, and we were able to receive over 900 machines back into the IT stock for reuse. And that's all via tombstoning, and anything that was not returned was closed off as a security gap.
Oh, that's unbelievable that so many devices could be under the radar there and not be seen. What advice would you give to an organization planning a migration, say from maybe Windows 10 to Windows 11, which is something that we all need to get completed before October 2025?
Well, this is one of the reasons why we work so closely with Microsoft, and everything that I'm actually saying is available via the Microsoft Marketplace. But you need to understand exactly what you're migrating from and to. And don't try to do this with a spreadsheet. Ensure that you know what your as is and to be position is, because you've got to rationalize and consolidate the estate early in the process. If possible, avoid big bang migrations. It's far better to have a policy that migrates devices on a constant rolling basis. Track dependencies and blockers. Remember, and this is really important, to include the non-core IT systems like CCTV and door entry systems, which often run on legacy software. And most importantly, is partner with experienced organizations to assist with the migration, to allow you to handle the peak workloads if you've got to do it by a specific date. Now, we have a great document, but I'm bound to say that, Dave, where you can download a Windows 11 readiness assessment from our resource center on our website.
Well, I'm definitely going to take a look at that. So why do organizations partner with you?
Most of our clients actually come from the Microsoft Marketplace, but we are not Microsoft specific. We show every piece of software, and obviously Microsoft is only a part player in the software estate, or it's via word of mouth, which is by far the best way that we want to do business. And we also do a lot with fractional CIO and CTOs, as they need to see what's in the new organization they're joining quickly. And many use ClearVisibility just because of the speed of deployment, because I can give them information within hours. Now, the main reason that people choose ClearVisibility is that we have the experience and tooling necessary to manage large end using estates efficiently. We allow our customer to do miles more with less, while significantly reducing the cost of the end user environment, along with our 193-page playbook with 21 separate value-driven elements enabling compliance and transparency. We provide insights with integrity in the matter of hours with pinpoint accuracy. And the most important thing with integrity is we can prove all of this up front in the first 30 days. That is completely free of charge to any end user.
So finally, if people wanted to learn more about the solutions we've discussed, what's the best way for them to continue the conversation with you and actually see for themselves how powerful these tools can be?
So via our website is the best way, Dave, which is www.clearvisibility.co.uk, or the Microsoft Marketplace. Again, just type in ClearVisibility, one of our globally approved partners, or directly via your Microsoft account manager, as we can actually be purchased once proven directly via your Microsoft contract.
So thank you again for talking with us today, Lee. It's been insightful as always, and no doubt will have sparked many other people to think about how tools such as ClearVisibility can help reduce the complexity and cost within their end user computing estates.
Dave, absolutely my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me. Keep on listening to the Inspiring Tech Leaders podcast.
Please remember to subscribe to the podcast and stay tuned for more inspiring tech leaders.